Well, hey, everybody, what's going on? It's Friday night. We're getting ready to go out after the show. So that's why we're a little bit late starting because, you know, I always have my makeup disasters and various other things.
She's always getting shit in her eye.
Well, it's not even, I'm not doing it on purpose. It's like shit just gets in my eye. Hair, makeup.
Women problem.
And then like just my eye just starts watering, and once it starts watering, it won't stop watering, and so like when I put makeup on, it just like runs everywhere.
Yeah.
So I have to keep like blotting it, and then I have to keep going like that to keep it from fucking up my shit.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. So we're gonna usher you guys out to your weekend, whether or not you're gonna stay at home or if you're gonna go out too. We're going out. We're probably the show's only gonna go on for about an hour, right? Hour and a half maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Because it doesn't open until 10, so we don't have to leave until like 9:30.
So we'll talk about anything you guys want to talk about, or we'll just sit here and fucking ramble about fucking basic shit or random shit that we talk about. There's been some paranormal stuff that's been happening in the news. Evidently, there's a guy leaking, got a government leaker talking about UFOs, that they have fucking crashed vehicles and pieces of them and bodies. I don't believe it.
I don't believe that either.
I think it's a psyop. I think they're just trying to distract from other problems. But other than that, we're just gonna see who's in the chat, Jen.
Zach and Camp Guy and Tammy and Tyler the Guy. So right.
Yeah, Zach and I were talking as I was getting ready for the show. I was listening to fucking Judas Priest, watching Rob Halford live, and he was getting me hyped, so I went full leather daddy tonight. I'm going full leather daddy.
Look, he's all shiny and everything.
Yeah, I got my fucking boots. Got everything.
Yeah, that's a good. Let's see. At least Zach said at least Jenny's nose didn't have its period, like I showed Tom earlier.
Yeah, Zach's nose is bleeding.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Trey said, woohoo, I saw the sisters Monday. Then I was wondering why Tom was wearing that shit.
I didn't know about the sisters.
So how was that?
Yeah,
I've seen them lots of times, but I think the last time we saw them was many years ago. We saw them together, didn't we? At least once, or did we?
We never saw the sisters together.
Oh, okay. I've seen them a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like with friends with my ex-husband a few times. Like, yeah, I think I've seen them like 3 or 4 or 5 times, something like that. I've kind of like forgot. I used to keep track of all the shows that I went to, but I stopped keeping track and now I don't remember. It's like, and I've seen so many that I'm just kind of like, wait, did I even see that band or shit? I don't remember. Trey said the music was great, but Andrew can't sing very well anymore. I'm glad I went. It was cool to be back in Detroit for a few days. Yeah, I mean, how old is Andrew Eldritch now?
Yeah. I don't know. Old.
I don't know. Old.
Yeah, old. Tyler's asked me, isn't leather fucking hot in Florida? This isn't leather.
Yeah.
It's just a shiny, flexible material.
Yeah.
It's fake leather. Leather look. It actually... What would you call that, Jen? It's actually a checkerboard pattern.
Yeah, I don't know.
Black.
I don't know
Different kinds of gloss black.
I mean, people do. It's hard being a goth in Florida, that's for sure. Like, even if you don't wear leather, which, I mean, I wouldn't advise it, but wearing leather, but some people do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's hot. But
and the pants are cotton. Only thing leather is the boots.
Yeah. 62. Andrew Eldritch is 62. Okay. And Trey said, shit, being a goth in Georgia sucks. Yeah, I mean, anywhere where it's hot. You just can't... You can't, like, get all... I mean, you can, but you'll die of, like, fucking heat stroke, you know?
Yeah. And he's not a good 62, actually.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
I mean, I'm pushing 60. I'll dust that motherfucker off. You know? It's just... He's not a very good 62. But he wasn't a good 42. He's just, you know... I think he's got mental issues, too.
Like I said, I don't know. Yeah. I haven't seen him for a long time. So, Camp Guy said, just got back from Florida vacation. I've never seen such development between Destin and Panama City Panhandle in 20 years. Condos, townhouses, built out super high density housing and kitschy shops. Yeah.
Yep. Everything's corporate now. The whole South is corporate. Everything except Mississippi. Mississippi's a collapsing fucking state. Everybody's leaving. There's nothing there. There's nothing there except on the coast, all the casinos. So you got Biloxi, past Christian. I lived down there. I loved fucking past Christian and Biloxi area. But that's it. That's all you got. And that's just, if you're going to live on the coast, you might as well just keep on going and just end up being on the Florida Panhandle. And then just keep on going, and then you're New Orlando.
Zach's talking about the forest fires in Canada. Yeah, I had been hearing about that, and they actually, because a woman that works with me was going on vacation. I don't remember where she was going, but they were canceling all the flights because of all the smoke and everything like that, which is crazy because that's all the way in fucking Canada. And
yeah,
that's, far.
They're set on purpose too. There's a satellite photo that showed that they broke out in about 4 different places simultaneously, and there was hundreds of miles apart or dozens of miles. But I couldn't really tell the scale in the satellite photography. So that was done by a team that set those on fire at the same time. They're trying to drive people out. I think they're trying to drive people out of wooded areas, make everybody move to cities so they could do those smart cities. That's what I think it is.
Or it could just be fires.
No, fires can't happen simultaneously with such space in between them. They were set by a team. Just with, all you need is cell phones and a dedicated group of guys that are doing shit. Might have been something like Antifa or something like that. Something somebody hired. Might have been insurance companies. There's no way of knowing. It was not natural though. It's enemy action.
Trey says the fact that I'm only the only goth in this fucking town. Yeah, I mean, growing up in Daytona, it was a little bit like that. There was more than one, but not that many. It was just like a handful.
It was like that for me on several occasions, having to go back home to Mississippi for a few months before I could find my way out of there, like in the central part of Mississippi. Like, and I was driving 2 hours to go to New Orleans, to the French Quarter, to might have been 2.5 hours, just to go to the club every weekend. Sometimes I couldn't make it back. I said, "Fuck it, I'm sleeping in the car. I'll leave in the morning." It's a long fucking haul. And that's how I met my first wife. I met her at the club there, and then ended up living with her at past Christian. There's a way out of being in a small town. Just got to get out. You got to get out of the area and go to the clubs. I was driving 2.5 hours to go to them.
Yeah, I was too, because I used to live in Daytona, and I would drive to Tampa to go to the castle on weekends, which was about a 2.5 hour drive each way.
At least you had something to look at though as you drove. When you were driving from,
Well, I don't know. A lot of that drive, there's not much to look at. Okay. I mean, once you get through Orlando, it's just all.
When I was driving from Heidelberg, Mississippi, down to New Orleans, fucking. More than half of it is just like Mississippi Badlands. It's just dark. There's no lights at all. You're just on those fucking. You're on the interstate. Not even any other cars a lot of times.
Wait. Since you guys have reviewed Chinatown, you should review its spoof, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I have actually been wanting to do Who Framed Roger Rabbit for a really long time. I remember seeing that in the theater. And the thing that I mainly remember about seeing it in the theater was that my youngest brother, was... What year did that movie come out? 87? Something like that. I mean, so my youngest brother was like a baby, because he was like born in 1986. And we took him, like the whole family went to see it. And that part where Judge Doom like takes that little animated shoe and puts him in the dip and he melts, which is pretty alarming for like a kid's movie. I was just like, holy shit. My little brother, who was still in diapers, jumped out my mom's lap and noped right out the fucking theater. Like, he just ran on his fat little toddler legs and like ran out of the theater because it upset him so much because he was so little. It's like, that was like, and I still remember that. That's like so funny. But I still can't believe they put that in a fucking kid's. I guess it's not technically a kid's movie. It kind of is, but that's like pretty upsetting to put it in a kid's movie. But yeah, I didn't really see any smoke, but from the fire. However, driving home from work today, like right when I left work at 4:30, there was a huge downpour in Daytona. I don't know if it rained here or not, but it was, so I was on 92 and the rain was so bad that I couldn't see anything. So I just, like I said, just kind of hoped that no one was in front of me because I couldn't see anything.
You guys should see Jen. Jen's looking amazing right now. We're going to do a photo shoot this weekend too. All kinds of, we got a whole wardrobe coming for Jen. Half the shit we got, she hasn't even worn it yet. And got 2 more shipments coming in. And we're going to plug them again. Shein.
Well, yeah, I got this dress from Shein, and then I haven't worn this one out yet. And we haven't done a photo shoot in this one yet. But I also have 2 more outfits that I haven't worn yet that we haven't done a photo shoot in. Or videos in. So we're going to do that tomorrow.
You can get a cool fucking goth dresses. They're for like $10. Show them that dress, Jen. Stand up there. Stand up there. Look how awesome this dress is.
Wait,
and she's wearing a shrug over it right now, but it didn't come with the shrug.
No, I'm just wearing that so it's not like too slow. I made it all blurry.
There you go.
But yeah.
Yeah, show them the sides. There you go.
Yeah, see.
Look at that bombshell sitting right there. Damn. Damn. She got that dress for $10.
Yeah, it was $10.
And then like you can get stockings for like $2.50 a pair. And accessories, they're wigs for like under $20. They're nice wigs. And I talked to my friend Bill, and I said, dude, we've been hitting this Shein app. He goes, oh yeah, Shein, that's like a porn industry standard. That's where all the porn stars get their shit because they buy so much stuff and only wear it once. And I was like, no shit. They go, oh yeah, we've been using Shein for fucking years.
Well, yeah, because you're always going to need like new tights and new like kind of fishnet tops and just, shit that is not, that you're only going to wear once or twice.
So he said that, and I said, I wonder if they got fucking sex toys. And I checked. Yeah, they got a shit ton. They got a shit ton of them. So I said, oh, okay, that's where they're getting all the props.
Yeah.
And it's, I would say that they're kind of like direct prices. They're not retail. That's like, what do you call it? That's
wholesale?
That's wholesale prices. And delivery is pretty prompt. 10 days, maybe 15 days. It's worth it. Now, some things you can get, they got a little electronics and shit like that in there too, and little like neon signs and knickknacks to dress up rooms, decorations. Some of the shit's real reasonable. Other stuff, you could probably get it for that price on Amazon. And if you have Amazon Prime, you get it the next day. But when it comes to clothing, also men's clothing. I'm looking at the men's clothing. I've found ways to search and find better shit in there. I haven't seen any prices on clothing that low. I don't think anybody can beat those prices.
Zach says, wearing, wait a minute. Doesn't wearing real complicated hairdos like that hurt? I always see them and I'm like, isn't that pulling on your scalp? No, because... Well, some of this is real hair. The bangs are my real hair. These braids are my real hair. And I have real hair in the back, but I basically just pull it up in 2 little ponytails, just like the back of my hair, and just kind of like make little buns. And then these are fake. Like this. So they just are 2 little ponytails, and you just like put them over the thing. So it's almost like just a little hair thing that you put over your little ponytails or your little buns. So it's not pulling. It's not pulling. I was going to wear a wig tonight, but it's too hot. I feel it's too hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just...
It looks good. It looks good like that.
Plus, I
shaved recently. You shaved it, so it's good.
Plus, I just got these earrings, and I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to wear these earrings. And if you have a wig on, you can't see them. You know what I mean? Because I got a couple pairs of earrings. I got some more stuff from Shein, too. I got, like, a couple more necklaces and... couple more. I didn't get any wigs, but I got like some hair extensions, like some different colored braids that you can snap in and shit like that. And I got some shoes too.
Zach says Jenny has legs. Jenny's got fucking awesome legs. Real nice ones.
It's just nobody ever sees them because I'm like a newscaster. Yeah. You only see me from. Wouldn't it be funny if it's like I stood up and then just from the waist down it was just like a broomstick, like a puppet.
She's been lifting. Her legs are getting great. Yeah.
I wish I was like good enough at video editing that I could do that. Like that I stood up and then I just like, then it's like my bottom half is just like a popsicle stick. That would be super funny. And now it's like my bangs are pissing me off because I brushed them all down. I had them perfectly straight. And then I sit in front of the camera and I'm like, now they're all fucked up and crooked again. I don't understand how that happens. I don't understand it. It's just kind of like I cut them and they look perfectly straight and I'm like, beautiful. And then like the next day I brush them and then they're all fucking crooked. I don't understand. And I don't understand how, because I never go and get my hair done. I think the last time I went and had my hair done or like cut or anything like that at like an actual salon, I don't even remember the last time that was. It's probably like 20 years ago or more. Because it's just, it's expensive and I can't really afford it and I don't really do anything complicated. So, I mean, I can cut my own bangs, but they always come out crooked. Whatever. Zach says, I watched the thing about how they make wigs for movies, and it's insane how often you can never tell, even if it just looks like the actor's regular hair. Yeah, I mean, some of the wigs, I've seen some movies with, like, some pretty tragic wigs in there that, like, you could absolutely tell was a wig. But sometimes I'll see a movie, and then later on I'll find out that that shit was a wig, and I'm just like, wow, that was a really good one. I mean, the ones I have, obviously, you know, I don't really care all that much if they look realistic because, you know, they're blue and green and shit like that. So I'm just like, duh, obviously it's a wig. But I don't know. If I was gonna do something where the hair had to look realistic, I would probably like spend more money and get, because don't they have those ones with like lace front, or they have ones that are like all complicated that look like, you know, your scalp and all that. But it's just like anything else. It's like if you buy like a cheap ass wig, like I buy wigs that are only like $10-$20, then yeah, I mean, they're not gonna last that long. I mean, they look okay, but once you wear them a couple times, you know, and if you brush them, like, you know, the hair comes out and they start getting thin and stuff like that. But I mean, the ones I've got that I probably paid like $20 for, like the red one and the blue one and stuff, I've had those a while and I've worn them like several times and they still look pretty good. I mean, they still look okay. Yeah, and Zach said, then again, most of them are also made from real hair, too, which is upsetting to think about, I guess. Although, don't people, I mean, it's not like they're taking dead people's hair or nothing like that, right?
Girls
it's like,
selling their hair.
It's just like people that, like, donate hair.
They don't donate, they sell it.
Or sell it, yeah, that's what I mean.
It's usually Chinese girls' hair. And they'll be out, they're farm girls. And they'll let their hair grow real long and cut it off, and they'll give them hundreds of dollars for it, and that's a lot of money. They used to be that way. I don't know if it's still like that, but they were like Chinese farm girls. They'd get like $100 for a head of their hair. That's a lot of money for them when it went over to the Chinese economy versus what they were making. And then they'd bleach it and fucking dye it and turn it blonde or whatever. It didn't have to stay black.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it, you know.
But it's, or you know, Asian people have thick hair. It takes dye real well and it lasts a long time, but it's not connected to a head. But that shit was expensive. And then it ends up being wigs for like $1,000. It braid it and everything.
I wonder nowadays, like the real high-end wigs that they make out of real human hair. It's like, I wonder what the market is for that. Like how much they'd pay you for like donating hair.
Probably not very much.
I imagine it's not.
Probably, you know what I mean? Couple $100 probably, depending on what your hair is like. But evidently they liked Chinese hair because it was just more durable and it was straight.
I don't think anybody want my hair.
You know, this
because my hair is like, I have a lot of it, like it's really thick, and like I said, it comes out, like every time I brush it, like it comes out like in big clumps, but I still have, it seems to never get any thinner.
Yeah.
But each individual strand is like super, super fine, like baby hair.
Yeah, Jen's got some weird hair.
I have weird ass hair.
Weird as shit. She's got down.
Yeah.
Not hair, but down.
Pretty much.
I'll trim her eyebrows and I'll be sitting there trimming like that, and pulling it out with fucking tweezers, like that. Believe it or not, people, I got really good like makeup and fucking eyebrow skills and shit. I could have been a damn beautician.
Yeah, he's good at doing my eyebrows because I can't do them because I can't see all that well, and it's like I always get them.
And I've never seen hair that small. They're literally like spider webs.
Yeah.
And when you pull them off, it doesn't look like hair. Even when I have glasses on, it doesn't look like hair. It looks like fuzz.
Yeah.
I've never seen hair that fine. And when I cut her hair, when I shave and stuff, she has normal hair, but then even smaller hairs along with it, like down. I've never seen it. I've never seen a person with that. It's just some.
I'm telling you, I'm a mutant.
Yeah, some kind of a redneck, honky Southern princess gene that you have. It's something from up in the down,
or I might be
motherland,
or I might be from another planet,
up in Russia or some shit like that, where
which
you need down to survive. You know, fucking extra cold temperature. But I don't understand how she can do it. And she sheds all year round. There'd be long hairs all over the place. I'm fucking vacuuming.
Good lord, it's just and it's like my bathroom floor is just, I have to sweep it like all the time because it's like there's just constantly hair everywhere.
Yeah.
But it never thins on my head.
It's thick.
It's
as
still
fuck.
like thick, which is why it's nice that it's like to keep it shaved, because when it's all grown out, because remember I had it all grown out until recently, and I said fuck this, I'm shaving it back off
Her
again.
hair is thick as
it
fuck.
is like, and it's heavy. It's heavy and it's hot, and it's just kind of like, even when it's short. So I was just like, fuck it, just shave it off. It's such a pain.
And it's straight, and it used to be red. Now it's just kind of mousy brown. It used to be a
well, it's
ginger,
like,
huh?
yeah, my hair is
probably
like,
goes ginger in the sun.
yeah, my hair is like, it's like a coppery red or like a coppery orange is my natural hair color.
Okay.
It might still be that, although at this point it's probably gray.
Probably gray.
I haven't seen
It's probably gray.
because I mean my mom was gray by the time she was my age.
It looks kind of just mousy brown color. I don't think you're gray, but if you let it grow, there's probably gray strips.
I imagine that it's probably gray around like the.
around.
Well, because when I do my roots and stuff like that, like I always get a little bit of gray around there. But you know what I mean. I'm 50, so
You're right.
it's kind of like. But yeah, it's just, and that's why too, like it being so fine. That's why when I was growing up, you know, I had real long hair like down to my butt, and I used to have to, like, my mom or my grandma used to have to just very carefully, and I use like that Johnson & Johnson No Tears baby shampoo and all that kind of shit and conditioner and stuff. Didn't work. You so much as like fluff my hair like that and it's just knots. So then you have to just meticulously like go through there and like comb all the knots out, and then like a bunch of hair comes out. It's like, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. My hair is a fucking nightmare. Which, like I said, it's much easier when it's, most of it is shaved off. The top part on the, you know, this is kind of about this long, and it's still kind of a pain in the ass, but it's better than all of it. I don't really know what to do with it. I wish I looked good with no hair. Like, I wish I looked good bald like you do. But I don't think I look good bald. I've never been bald.
Yeah.
But I just suspect that I would not look good bald.
I don't know. You'd have to try. I mean,
I feel like I'd look like a big fat
Turn your
head.
head. Turn your head sideways, so they can see. I think she looks good with her head shaved on the sides, and it's shaved on the sides and the back all the way around. She just has a top. Like
it's just like a crown.
Yeah, she just has a top.
Yeah. There's no hair back here. But it's long. Like the top part of it's just the crown, but
Just
it's
the
like
top
it's
and-
about this long.
Top and bangs.
Yeah. Camp guy said, "I'm 61 with a silver fox, gray and black." Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know what color my actual hair is now. It's probably still reddish, I imagine. But because I don't let it ever. As soon as like the roots start to grow out and look gray, I'm just like whoop, and I just like put fucking more dye on there. Zach says, "I hate my eyebrows. They're thin and asymmetrical and don't move."
They don't move. Damn.
I have big. Okay, for a long time, if you've watched this show for like a really long time, probably for like 10 years, I think it was probably like 10 or 11 years ago, I was so sick of dealing with my stupid eyebrows that I was like, fuck it, I'm just like going to shave them off. And then I just like draw them back on.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a really long time. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? Just probably like a year ago, I said, I'm going to grow my eyebrows back. And now I'm kind of like thinking about shaving them back.
Yeah, I was looking at some old pictures of you, and I actually was thinking, I miss those eyebrows that were painted on, because you did them differently all the time.
Yeah,
Depending
you
on
could
whatever
do,
was-
yeah, you could do different.
all kinds of.
You could do like normal shit, or
Yeah.
you could like put them way up here.
Right, yeah.
You could do all kind of crazy,
some
like
of those
dramatic.
some of the goth fucking real high ones that you did looked really cool. But just the ones where you were wearing the little stick-on forehead jewelry and stuff, and the fucking wigs that you had, it looked real good.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, just do it. It's easy, you know what I mean? And at the work that you're at, you don't have to have eyebrows if you don't want to. They're not gonna say anything to you.
I mean, I always like think I look weird without any eyebrows. That's kind of why I decided to grow them back, because I said, oh well, in case I don't feel like putting makeup on or don't feel like putting much makeup on, if you don't have eyebrows, I always feel obligated to like kind of draw the eyebrows on, because everybody's just kind of like, you look kind of weird like without any eyebrows. So I always kind of feel like drawing them on. But the flip side of that is, if you have regular eyebrows, you got to fucking pluck them all the time.
Yeah, pluck them like a chicken. It's called tweeze, Jen. You don't pluck them. Don't pluck. Look, here, you know what though? Tiff, my first wife, she didn't have any eyebrows. She went to work every day, but she had a system to get eyebrows on in like 2 seconds. She just took the pencil and fucking went boom, 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 made dots, and then connected the dots. And I just saw her do it. It was like, fuck. You ever seen that?
No, that's how I used to do it too.
You just take a pencil, put your finger on one part of it to measure it, and go bing, and make
yeah,
it
you would just go like right there, right there. That's how you do it.
And then
that's what I did.
She'd run out, and they looked good. She could do it in fucking 5 seconds.
Yeah, you get used to doing it after a while. So yeah, I'm gonna maybe I'll
shave them off.
Maybe I'll shave them back off again.
That way I don't have to tweeze them every couple weeks.
Well, shit, every week.
Every week, yeah.
Because honestly, I was just looking at them today because I was putting my makeup on and I was like, fuck, man, they need to be tweezed again. Like, and you just did them like a few days ago.
Yeah, shave that shit.
It's like, see, I don't know, man.
I'm gonna be back there going like a Chinese woman sitting there.
Yeah, you just did it last Saturday or Sunday. I think like before we did the photo shoots and all of that.
Yeah, just shave them off. You get more looks that way. You can do different styles.
Yeah.
You know, for the photo shoots, so you can change whatever eyebrow you have.
Yeah, it is like a lot more.
It's a lot more versatile.
For sure. Jason S says, make a wig out of your own hair and you can shave your head all the time.
Yeah, there's too many cheap wigs out there.
Yeah.
That are cool as shit, though. Too many cheap wigs out there.
I have so many wigs, you guys. I don't even realize. I didn't even realize like how many, because I have a bunch that I don't even like remember that I don't.
Shein's got some fucking $30, $25 to $30 range, $35 range fucking wigs that are extravagant as fuck. Have you seen those things?
Which ones are you talking about?
They look like something out of damn cosplay of anime.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and they look great, man.
I mean, they have those on Amazon, too.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't really do anything with it other than dress up as some character. That it's meant to look like some character. But I was just amazed how much you could get for $35. A lot. They got a shit ton of fucking wigs, man, going, 60s looking wigs from the just old, out of date styles that still look cool. 60s bobs.
Well, I got that one that's like a bob that you took some pictures of me like, and we took some video last weekend of me.
They got some cool black girl wigs, fucking cornrows and fucking big plaits and shit, big long braids. I thought they look cool.
I have thought about dreading my
dreads,
hair,
yeah,
but
you have to fucking grow a lot of hair out to dread. And then you're stuck with that look.
Yeah, because then that's the only thing that gives me pause about it. It's like I think it would look good, but yeah, if you decide you don't like it, you have to basically cut everything off.
They got dread wigs out there.
They do, I know.
Just get that.
Well, see, that's what I figured. I was like, well, if I just get a bunch of like wigs and hair extensions and stuff, then I don't really have to like worry too much about what my regular hair looks like, because I can just like.
If you start getting into this shit, especially when fucking business starts rolling, on our other project, if we need room. We can put up fucking wig stands and shit over in the damn, even in the gym if we have to. Yeah,
I definitely, because I got them on Amazon a long time ago, but they're just like little wig stands. They're just plastic, they're like round like a little head, and then it's got like a little stand on it. But it's just, I didn't have any room like to put them in the closet. I had them standing up in there, but then. Sometimes we would do the show and you would run in there and get a wig and just knock them all over. And then, so they all just went all over the floor.
We need a wig place.
So I do have a bunch of wig stands.
Yeah.
And I have ones that hang up too, that like hang in a closet that have like a head.
For right now, there's a lot of room out in this living room right here. If you wanted to start using that, but we have to get like things like coat racks. If you want to hang up clothes and costumes and shit, you can put
that would be good. I could use that because I have this closet here, but it's like it's crammed full of stuff, and it's just like a pain in the ass. There's shoes piled up, there's wigs, there's
look,
all kind of shit.
Right there, we can put right in this area.
Yeah,
we can put one of those big dressers. Mm-hmm. Not a dresser. What do you call them? Like what do they call them? Coat stands or no? What do they call a thing where it opens up and you can actually hang
like
up?
A wardrobe.
A wardrobe. A big wardrobe right there, maybe.
That would actually be pretty useful, I think.
Yeah, and that's dead space right there, and a big wardrobe.
Yeah, well, because that's where my couch was, but then you took the couch and put it in your man cave.
It makes more sense in there anyway.
It does, yeah. I wasn't really using it.
You weren't using it.
I was gonna use it. Like I brought it in here for. I was like, oh, it'd be nice to have like a little seating area over there where we could sit and read or whatever. But I never used it.
Yeah, look at that spot, Jen.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Let's put a wardrobe there.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah. We'll see. And then
just yesterday we went to Dollar General.
Yeah.
And got it's just like a little storage cube thing to put all the dildos on.
Yeah.
So we have like a dildo stand to go like
It's
in
right
the
there.
back of the.
I'm gonna light it up from the inside.
Yeah.
That's
and I was looking
for the
at
Stream Mate show.
for the Stream Mate show, yeah, because we have like we bought some cool looking sex toys like that are all like weird colors
Like
and
some for
shapes
monsters
and stuff,
and shit.
right? Like that are all monstery.
Show it to him.
So I was like,
Does that thing come off there?
no.
Here, I'll just pick it up.
Okay, but good luck with that.
Hold on, where is it?
Good luck with that. You're gonna knock everything over or pull it out or something.
You can't see it. See those blue things right there?
You're making everybody.
That's
see
them. There's the mirror. There's not enough light to see it, but that's
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Yeah, we got a little thing to put them on. And I was thinking, I was looking on Shein today, and I was looking for some of those.
Look at that. Got you perfect. Spock's right where he belongs.
I'll put Spock right where he belongs. I was looking at some of those little neon lights and everything. I liked the cherry ones. They had like a bat, like a little neon bat. They had a moon. That was pretty cool. That was like red.
You saw that.
But here was the thing. I put one in the cart. I think it was only like $6 or something. But I didn't buy it because I was like, wait, does it have a stand or do you have to like hang it? Because it didn't look like it was just like freestanding.
What
you know
was
what I'm
it,
saying? I liked the moon one.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't think it had a stand.
No, it's probably just
on
on
it.
the wall.
I think you could just like hang it from a nail or
Yeah.
some shit like that.
Yeah, they have a lot of those.
So
They're like $6 each.
Yeah, they were
had a
like $6 or
bat?
$7. Yeah, I saw the bat.
Yeah.
And they had different colors. They had a pink one and a purple
Yeah.
one and shit like that.
Some of them are just like women's legs,
Yeah, I saw that one too.
high heels,
And they had lips and
lips. Yeah.
hearts,
Yeah, hearts.
shit like that. So we wanted to get some stuff because, like I said, when we start doing the live streams, we kind of want some exciting shit like in the background, like some lights and some cool shit to look at. So I got to set up StreamMate this weekend. I was looking. It's funny because so we've been. Because if you've been here, like, we've been having a bitch of a time, like, getting on OnlyFans. Like, I had to send in, you have to send in a picture of your ID and, like, a picture of yourself with your ID. And it's just, like, the picture of the ID was just, like, never good enough. Even I was just, like, I scanned it. I took a picture of it. It was, like, highest resolution that I had, blah, blah, blah. And I sent it, like, a billion times. And it was just never good enough, even though I'm like, duh, you can read it. I'm just like, you guys are just being dicks or whatever. And then they were like, oh, well, you don't have enough social media. You don't have this, that, and the other. I was like, ugh. And I was just like, should I just keep sending them the same shit over and over until, just like a war of attrition, until they just get sick of me and just like, okay, fine, bitch, just do it. But then we were thinking, why don't we just like go to StreamMate and just like, we'll start doing that. You can sell videos on there too, as far as I'm aware. And it's like, then later we can maybe start the OnlyFans thing, because they're being real buttholes about like not having enough social media or something like that. I don't really know what their problem is. And like I said, they keep saying my ID picture isn't clear enough, even though I'm not really sure how I can make it any clearer. But so yeah, so we were gonna start doing that. So I started watching, like, just on my lunch hours, I'm sitting in the car, like in the parking lot of like where I work. So I just go to StreamMate, and I don't have an account on there yet, but I'm just like going around randomly watching. I'm just like whoever is on live, at that time of day. And it's people all over the world, so it's not weird that like people are on at noon or whatever. And one thing that I noticed, I watched some of the single girl cams, I watched some of the couple cams, and like some of the other stuff, and I'm like, man, 90% of the people that I just picked like random ass people, and I was like, 90% of the people on there are boring as fuck. They're not doing anything.
Yeah, they're not even talking.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. And like, I mean, yeah, they're not supposed to. I mean, you can do whatever you want on there. It's your thing. But it's like most of the time they're just, waiting for people to like tip them to like, to get them to do something or like go in their gold show or whatever. But it's like, I would think that you would want people to like, people just wandered into your room, like you would be engaging.
Yeah.
So they would stay and like tip you and stuff. But every single one that I clicked on, people were just like sitting there. They weren't
knitting. And
they
shit.
weren't talking. One girl was knitting.
I went in one time. There was a girl laying in bed, just asleep. She fell asleep.
They weren't doing
She fell
anything.
asleep on it.
They were just like sitting, like staring off into space. They're like looking at their phone. Even when it was like more than one person, because I saw several that were like couples. I saw one that was like a girl and two guys, and they were just like, they're all naked and they're all just like sitting there. They're not doing anything. They're not talking to anybody. They're not.
Part of the problem is Colombia, Latin America. They're in our same time zones. They don't speak English, and there's a lot of them on there. So they're trying to get, I guess, American customers, but they can't really interact because they can't speak English. So they just sit there saying nothing. Back when I was checking that site out before, we decided to do it, there was a girl in Germany, goth chick in Germany, had a big old fucking pentacle fucking tattooed across her chest, and she was fucking cool. And all she did was just talk and talk and talk, and she had 30 guys in that room. And
see, there you
tips.
Go. Right.
And they were giving her tips just to flash and shit, because you can flash, but you can't do anything. You can't do anything like penetration or anything in public.
Right.
All that other shit is in private. So she was just sitting there getting $1 and $5 tips. Just dudes fucking asking her to flash and talking to guys.
Yeah.
And then she goes, hold on, I'll be back. And then she'd be gone for 2 or 3 minutes because she's helping some dude jerk off. And then bing, then she's back. And all the dudes are waiting for her.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it going I was looking at it from the point of view. It's like, say I'm a straight dude and I'm like looking for somebody that's like, but I'm clicking on all of these and I'm like, no one's doing anything interesting. Like nobody is interacting with anybody. Everyone's just kind of like sitting there looking bored and like staring off into space. Or like I said, I saw one girl, she was legit knitting.
Yeah.
Like, and she was with her boyfriend. They weren't even talking to each other.
Yeah.
Which I said that to me like seemed like that would be a good one of the benefits of like doing it as a couple is that like if there's nobody in your room or no one's interacting with you, you can at least talk to each other, and then you'll look like active, like you're doing something, so that will get more people engaged. But they weren't even doing that. That
German girl was in there talking about music when I first went in, and I asked her if she knew what neofolk was, and then she goes, "Oh yeah, I listen to Death in June and fucking Current 93."
We'll see, there you go.
Whole thing, and then other guys in the comments, because a lot of them were goth too. They were talking. Then they started talking about the neofolk scene, and then she goes, "Hold on, I'll be right back," and then she's gone.
Yeah.
To flash her titties and suck on some kind of dildo or something to help some dude jerk off, and then she's back 3 minutes later. Okay, back. And it's just like nothing ever happened. And the dude leaves.
Yeah.
Because they can talk in private or in public. So. But she had about 30 guys in there just talking to her. And I was like, man, Jenny'd be great at this. I was like, Jenny'd be great at this. And fucking, just because she can talk. And they were talking about stuff. They weren't just, talking about your ass or anything. They were talking about stuff.
Well, that's one thing. And a lot of, when I was watching a bunch of different women that did this for a living, and that's what a lot of them said. They're like 90% of the time you're not even talking about anything sexual. People just want you to like talk to them about like whatever.
They're just lonely and they got credit cards.
Right. So
and it's like therapy for these dudes, and they're then they want a few minutes alone.
Yeah.
That's all. And then they're regulars. They come back. We're gonna do it kind of as a couple, which I can help. You know what I mean? Fucking. And some dudes are cool with that. Other, it's gonna chase other guys away. A lot of guys don't want any other dude around. They want like a girlfriend experience. And Jenny can go fucking solo if she wants at certain times. It doesn't fucking matter to me. It's because it's fantasy, and it's nothing more than any other stage production. So it's not sex. You know what I mean? It's an act. There's nobody here. It's just me and her.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. That's what appeals to me about it, is that you can do all this shit, but it doesn't really. I mean, like I said, there's nobody in the room with you, so it's not like
it's
weird.
It's all fantasy.
Yeah, they could be halfway around the world.
It's the same relationship we have with y'all. It's just a different element. But we talk to you guys, and we remember you, and fucking Zach. I talked to Zach offline. Fucking talk to fucking Murder Hornets and Bee's Nest and fucking Xanada. So, and it's the same thing with those girls on stream, mate. Some of them know these guys. They had one girl who went to one of her biggest followers' son's graduation. the wife was there. That's some weird shit, and the dude would not jerk to the fucking girl. he had known her too long.
He respected her too much.
Yeah, he had known her too long. She was like his buddy, and he'd tip her and they would just talk.
See, that's cool though.
Yeah, it's just a different interaction. That's all.
I'm not worried about it.
It's a different kind of show.
I'm not worried about it.
No.
Like I said, I kind of thought of it like pretty much the same as this show.
Yeah.
Except with an extra element.
It can be X-rated.
That's all. That's the only difference, and to me, that's not really that big of a
If we could do that here, we would.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if YouTube wasn't, like we can't do.
There have been times where I wanted to fucking do some shit, and you're like,
especially like when you're real drunk and stuff,
or like fucking really juiced up on some kind of fucking test, or if you guys are long enough, if you watch this show long enough, when I was fucking drunk and on a bunch of hormones, I'm basically trying to dry hump her on the show. I wasn't making that up. And she's like, stop it, and I'm like, God, why? I become like a 15-year-old. Why?
Yeah.
Why can't I get any?
You're so emo, Tom.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. But
but yeah, see, if you're on Streammate, then you don't have to stop doing it. You can just do it because it's okay.
Yeah, you just can't do it in public.
You
gotta go private.
Yeah, you just say, hey, everybody, come in the room with us and give us the money. And then
you could actually do a free show. They have that too.
Well, I did notice that just from a cursory glimpse like through the shit, some people nobody was doing anything like super hardcore, but a lot of people were sitting around naked.
Yeah. You can be nude, you just can't do anything sexual.
Yeah.
It can be R-rated. It can't be X-rated, basically.
I did see one that was like a BJ, but you couldn't see. It was basically you just saw her ass, and then like the dude, like right, they had it.
They're not doing anything though; they're simulating.
Right, they're like faking it.
And another thing is I saw one girl blowing a big old rubber dick, and they can do that in public because that's not real.
Because that's not a real dick.
Yeah, even though it was one of the mechanical kinds that can shoot shit all over. And they were tipping her, and she was doing that on Streambait, not Chatterbait, Streambait. So that the rules evidently say you can do that there in public,
as long as it's not a real dick.
As long as it's not real, right?
Yeah, because they have those fake ones that'll like shoot.
Yeah, and behind her she had a wheel that was spinning on her motor with about 6 of them. They were all numbered, different dicks. It was a wheel of dicks. Remember the Wheel of Fortune? It's the Wheel of Dicks. She had that behind.
We need to get a wheel of
dicks back there.
I like it.
Zach, wouldn't you love to have a wheel of dicks?
I mean,
he probably got a wheel of dicks.
Where can we get a wheel of dicks?
Well, it looked like she made it.
Well, yeah, like I could make that. I could make something like that. Yeah. Well, that would be kind of cool because it would just be like just from like a showbiz kind of standpoint. You could do it just like Wheel of Fortune, but you could have like different colored like sections on the wheel, and you could like stick a dildo like on each one.
Yeah, they had different numbers, like 1 to 6, and they were spinning. And then I guess guys were spinning some kind of random number generator.
Right, yeah.
And then she had whatever the number it landed on, that was the one she had to grab. You had to spend a certain amount of money to get to spin the wheel.
Zach said, I feel semi-compelled to watch the other show, but I still think it'd be too weird.
No.
I don't know. I understand.
No, it's going to have a lot of humor in it.
I would understand if people would think it was weird, but I don't think it's weird, and Tom doesn't think it's weird.
We come from a fetish background and everything.
Like I said, it's not really that big a deal to us, so it's like
Zach, you were like, I can't believe my favorite people are whoring themselves out, and I was like, I guess you don't really know us. Because me and Jen,
we're whores.
Me and Jen have been together fucking 13 years, and half that time we were fucking going to like fucking fetish clubs and fucking all kinds of fucking weird shit was going on. Maybe we weren't doing anything, but we just kind of came from that environment. Sex wasn't really a big deal for us. It was whatever. We just kind of thought it was funny.
Yeah,
It's just another thing.
Yeah.
That happens.
Sometimes it happens, sometimes it does. Depends on who you are.
Sometimes it happens with other people that are around, if you've had enough drinks or whatever, and then, there's that kind of shit.
I mean, there was some shit going on at fucking Southern Nights.
That's what I was
That was happening on stage, too.
Yeah.
So, and that was a drag bar on normal nights, but we had a goth night going there.
Yeah, it was a goth fetish night.
Yeah.
It was called Escape.
Yeah, it's called Escape. You would have loved that shit, Zach. That place was like a fucking gay paradise, man. It's like it looked like something.
That's a nice place. I think that's still there. The club is still there.
It looked like a tiki theme, kind of.
A little bit.
You kind of, and you could go in. They had outdoor
or like
bars.
classy Miami, but like a tiki bar outside.
Yeah, you go outside. And it's like tiki bars and fucking. They were weren't there fountains with lights and shit in there? Or was it just gardens with lights? I thought there might have been a fountain.
Yeah, it was like a little garden area, like a little garden patio back there. It was actually really nice, like the patio.
Yeah.
They did a nice job, like fixing.
And then there was a theater in there and a couple dance floors.
Like with a stage and everything, like with curtains and all that.
Yeah. And place was fucking wild.
I got to go up on stage and fuck a girl in the ass with a blow up dick.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then I had to go up there and dig through a fucking litter box looking for cat shit.
With your mouth.
With my mouth. But it was all fake. It was nothing but just, it was fucking Rice Krispies with fucking chocolate pudding in it.
Yeah.
And I had to dig through there to get a prize.
They were like Tootsie Rolls,
Tootsie Rolls and chocolate pudding.
Yeah.
Shit was all over me. Did that on stage.
I got pictures of that somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my god, that's
and the prize I got was porn.
Yeah.
They gave us some
we got
VHS
some porn. Like, and it wasn't real good porn. It was kind of like
second-rate shit.
It was kind of like some ladies that had didn't they have like some sports shit on? And I was like, it's not really.
No, there was only one good porn star on it, and that was Katrina. She was She was known from the '90s, late.
We
90s,
won some other shit there
early
too.
Early 2000s. Katrina was on.
I remember we won. Well, we won some handcuffs there one time, like some pink ones, and we won.
Yeah.
Didn't we win like a vibrating egg or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember what.
Real bad sex toys, cheap sex toys.
Yeah, it's like I don't remember where it is, but they used to do like a game show.
Yeah.
Basically, like every night they would do like a
Zach's
game show.
talking about the gay paradise where he's at. What's it called now?
Greg's, aka our place.
Okay, yeah.
The O in the logo is a toilet lid.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. So I immediately know. Okay.
Southern Nights was a fucking fun club. Like I said, each night was a different theme. We were going there on the goth theme, but it was the same staff. They were all gay guys, fucking run the staff. They were great. You'd have fucking drag queens in there. I think some of them were staff too.
Yeah.
And then across the street was a cheap motel, so you knew what was going on there.
Yeah, like one of those pay by the hour.
Yeah, pay by the yeah. And then, but it was like some fucking Gavin Friday fucking level gay paradise. Fucking you'd have liked it, Zach.
It's funny because that place, like I said, I think it's still there.
Yeah.
And it looks like nothing from the outside.
Yeah,
it's just like it's not in a part of town where there's other clubs. It's just kind of like it's by an overpass.
Yeah.
There's like across the street. There's like a cheap motel. There's like some insurance offices and shit that are closed, obviously. And it's just like, and it's just sitting there like in a parking lot, and it looks kind of crappy from the outside. It looks kind of like a dump, but like the inside is like really, really nice.
It was decked out, yeah. And bad shit was going on in there, naughty shit, because we were doing naughty shit in it. The straight people, the goth people were doing naughty shit. So I can imagine that the gays were doing crazy shit in it.
Well, I kind of feel like the goth scene and the gay scene are kind of like...
kind of similar in tone.
Similar. Like, and there's a lot of overlap. It's just kind of like the goth scene and the fetish scene. Not everybody that's into goth is into fetish stuff.
Right.
But you go to a fetish party, and it's going to be like 60, 70, 80% goth people.
Yeah.
And a lot of them aren't super, super into fetish stuff. It's just some of it's just aesthetics. But
the official sexual orientation of the goth scene is fetish. Whether or not they're actually into it or not, that's just the banner that they will wave. It's kind of fetishy.
Yeah, like people will wear the shit and everything, and some of them are into like light BDSM and shit like that. I don't know if anybody's like. Well, I was gonna say I don't know if
we know some, but
we do know some people that are like really into it.
Brian and Becky,
in the sense that they like every time there's a fetish convention, like they're right at that shit. Like they go like several times a year.
And Jen and Dimitri are in that. They don't want to really admit it though.
Yeah. That actually go to all that stuff and everything like that. Like I've been to ones like that. I've been to ones in Fort Lauderdale and all that kind of stuff. But I'm kind of like half into it and like half not. I'm not like super hardcore about it, but and if you go to the castle in Tampa, their whole bottom floor, well not the whole bottom floor, but like half of the bottom floor is the dungeon. They built a whole dungeon.
And that's fetish as shit. Well, there was some good fetish shit going on in there.
Yeah, so like all around the periphery on one side is all cages, so you can like go in the cages, and then like along the back wall is, you know, shackles and shit like on the walls, so you can do that. And then in the middle is like all couches, like, you know, little pits with couches and
you
shit.
can look at the castle in Tampa. You can Google that.
So they have big, huge fetish parties.
And
there.
Southern Nights, you can Google that too. And I think it's Nights with a K, right?
No.
It is with an N?
Yeah, it's just nights like regular.
Yeah, okay. And that's
nighttime.
It's in Orlando, Southern Nights in Orlando.
Yeah.
And there might be some interior shots of the place.
Yeah,
had a great dance floor. Great bars, great outdoor bars, and it's too hot now, but for the outdoor bars, but
it's nice out there though.
Yeah, it is. You could smoke out there. That was back when we were smoking.
Yeah, that's how long ago. And the last time we went there, I think it's still open. I'm not actually sure, but yeah, they're talking about kitty litter box cake. Well, it's funny because when we went to that party and they had the whole, that was part of the game show, and we knew our friend Destin was one of the guys that ran the game show, like, because he was one of the ones that put together the night. He was like one of the guys that did it. And the other guy, his name was Mike. He actually died a couple years ago. I think he OD'd. But so they would do like a game show every week, and they would like up the stakes like every week. So it's like you always had to do like kind of embarrassing or like really disgusting things. And sometimes like you'd win good shit, like you'd win like a $50 bar tab or something, because I think I won one of those one time. But they would always like think of like gross shit to do. So like the litter box thing, I really wanted Tom to go up there and do it because he had never heard of like a litter box cake before. And I thought that's like a big thing, right? I thought everybody knew like what a litter box. It's kind of like you know, that other cake where you put it in like a bucket and it looks like dirt, and then you put like gummy worms in it and shit like that. I was like, it's kind of like that, but it's like a litter box, and it's just, you know, Rice Krispie treats, and you put like, you melt some you know, what do you call them, Tootsie Rolls in there, so it looks like cat turds, and then you make a cake out of it. He thought I was making it up until I went and like Googled it. I'm like, look, there's a million, it's a thing. Like, he didn't believe me. I was like, no, it's a thing. So he had to go up there. So I do have some pictures of him sticking his face in a litter box.
Yeah, the litter box.
I gotta find those. They're on Facebook somewhere, but it's really old.
I got them.
That was like years ago.
I got pictures of it.
Yeah.
You want me to show the pictures?
I mean, if you could find them.
Oh yeah, they're on my Facebook.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're probably on my Facebook too, but I can't find that. Tammy said like a while back, she said, "You don't know, we might be jerking off to you guys all the time."
Yeah. It's all right.
That's what I mean. And it's just like, not to be weird. It's like, we know you guys. It's okay. Like, we're not weird about it. Don't be weird about it. You don't have to watch it. I'm not saying that anybody has to watch it. But I think that
it's going to be two different scenes mostly. So
it probably is. But I kind of picture it being mostly like this, but more. That's kind of how I picture it going. It might not go like that. We'll see.
Well, we got to play it by ear, because that's a very fluid fucking situation over there.
Yeah.
I've watched how they're doing it, and those girls were just very fluid playing it by ear. It depends on who was in that room.
That's kind of the way. I mean, that's kind of the way we do this show too.
Yeah, you're
interacting with whoever is.
And they're just fucking sensing who's in the crowd and playing to the crowd, which that's just second nature for me and Jen, actually.
Well, we've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, I was trained actor, you know, fucking, and I was just amazed how much Jenny picked up on going live on stage and working off of the synergy of the stage, just without any training. She just did it on her own, because I guess it's second nature for a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. It would have been something you needed training for a long time ago. Now that there is such a thing as YouTube and streaming, a civilian, that's what I'm going to call him, a civilian can pick it up in a couple shows. That's not the way it used to be. It used to be, to get that feeling, you had to be on a stage in front of a live audience. You don't need that anymore. Well,
now you have to think that, you know, people younger than us have grown up filming everything, filming themselves, and it's like, so it's not,
they don't have stage fright,
right? It's not weird to them to just be like, they'll just like fucking, you know, they're like, we're just broadcasting everything.
Yeah, back in the day,
it's like they don't, it doesn't bother them the same way that it maybe would have bothered
It's
us
back in
and
the day.
like older people.
Right. I mean, they were back in the day. People would freeze if you put a camera on them. They're like, oh.
Yeah. Well, it's weird, and I think I've said this before, but you know, for a long time, there's one of the pictures.
That's me digging through the cat box. I was on stage in front of about 100.
You have one with your
people.
face in it too, but
Yeah, I got it. It's the next one.
Oh, okay, you got your face in there?
Yeah.
Because I know I took some. Because I was like, oh my god.
And that was back when I had hair.
I was like, this is too fucking funny.
Face in there,
Yeah.
trying to get the damn Tootsie Rolls. It was supposed to be like a cat turds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won, right? Did you win?
Yeah, I won.
Yeah. Because I thought we got a prize that
I think
night.
I got more photos of that of when they gave me the prize. I think I got that.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I think I got that in here.
I think that was the same night that I was like sticking that thing in that girl's butt.
I think so. Yeah.
And I think she had a bunch of like shaving cream on her butt or something too, if I remember. It was a long time ago. But and I was probably a little inebriated.
I think the whole
to be
club
honest.
was.
Well, yeah, everyone was very inebriated.
Yeah.
That was what you did. You just
Yeah,
went there and got
yeah, don't
totally
think that this was-
blasted.
This wasn't 100. This was not in public. We know everybody. All the hundreds of people. That's actually that was actually the stage where it was happening at Southern Nights.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They won't focus.
That was the stage. And
Yeah.
the crowd.
And like I said, yeah, and they had that's right. They had that wheel back there.
Yeah, where they were spinning.
And they'd always like make you like drink gross stuff and
yeah.
shit like that. And you could volunteer, like they didn't have to. But I think because I think for the cat turd thing, I think I volunteered you.
Yeah.
Or I caught Destin's eye and was like, yeah, make him do it. I think, if I remember correctly. But we just saw Destin
Look, that's Southern
the
Nights
other
right
day.
there.
We hadn't seen him in a long
That's
time.
Southern Nights right there.
Yeah, that's right. That was a while back.
That's the club. That's the Southern Nights. Can't really see.
Yeah.
And I got that big fucking ring back there.
Yeah. John Gora said, I've never watched people I know having sex. It'd weird me out, but that's just me. Not that I know Jenny and Tom, but the parasocial thing. I mean, I feel like we know you guys, though. And like I said, I don't... Yeah, there
More
you go.
of me eating out of the cat box. And
Oh, and then there's Destin.
Destin back
There's
there.
Destin, too.
Back there on the microphone fucking egging me on.
Yeah.
And then the crowd
He's
watching.
like, come on, Tom.
Yeah.
I think I did volunteer you for that. Sorry. Because I was like, come on, that's too fucking funny. Yeah. He got right in there. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a trooper. I was surprised. Because I think he was just like, oh, shit, I don't want to do that. And I was like, please. It's like, come on, that'd be so funny. And he did it.
Yeah.
Camp Guy said, contestants must, without using their hands, pick up a jumbo green olive off a large block of ice in their butt cheeks and race around an obstacle course. Loser has to eat the winner's olive. It was shit like that. I mean, I don't think it was anything quite that elaborate, but it was things along those lines. You know what I mean? That you had to do. I remember one time, didn't they do something where it's like there was like a big bucket full of hot dogs or something, and you had to like go and like you're bobbing for hot dogs, and then you had to like fucking pick it out with your hands, not your butt cheeks, I don't think, but
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but it's
What was the
something
one
like
where
that.
they took Dustin's little friend? What was his name? Little Twinkie guy.
Oh shit, what was that dude's name?
Fuck, Ryan? No.
No.
Brian? No.
No.
He had the whitish.
Yeah, the
blonde
white hair. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Uh,
What the fuck was that motherfucker's name? I haven't
They
seen
had him in some kind of machine where it was jizz was pouring. They said it was jizz. Fake
Oh,
jizz
that's right. It
pouring
was
out.
fake jizz. Yeah.
Yeah, fake jizz pouring out.
Yeah, he was like it was like a tank or
like
something.
a tank. It's
Sorta.
What was that guy's name?
God damn
All
it.
they did was torture that guy.
He was into it.
He was
He was
all
into
kinds
it.
of shit.
He wouldn't have let. I mean, he was one of the guys that ran the shit,
went
so
around-
it's like he
yeah.
wouldn't have like
He was
done
in on it.
if he didn't want to do it. You know what I mean?
You'd have liked him, Zach.
But yeah, well, he was fun.
He was the gayest straight guy I ever knew.
Yeah,
Yeah, you would swear to God he was gay. He wasn't. He was straight.
yeah.
But he looked like the lost member of Duran Duran slightly.
He did kind of.
Kind of, yeah. What was that
Yeah,
guy's name?
I had forgotten about the jizz tank.
Yeah, the jizz tank. What was that guy's name, man? I haven't seen him forever.
Yeah, like I said,
he moved away.
well, they all did. I
They all
mean,
moved away,
Destin moved away, but
They're
we
all
just
in L.A. now, I think.
well, we just saw Destin though the other. He was
Yeah.
back he didn't move back, did he? He just visit. We saw him at Mannequins like a couple weeks ago. We were like, holy shit, man, where have you been? We haven't seen him in like fucking years.
He's in the LA scene now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a bunch of them went out to LA.
He was talking about moving back, though.
Yeah.
I was talking to him, yeah. He just said it costs so much money to do anything there.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, it costs a lot of money to do shit everywhere. But
I told him, I said, man, this place is right for you to come back. I was like, I'm thinking about it. Because fucking, man, Destin was great at fucking showing it. One of the greatest fucking club nights that in this area, Orlando.
I mean, he was into that. Mm-hmm. Like, he was really good at coming up with themes.
He was a great host.
Yeah, and he would always do, like, he hosted all the game shows. Because not only would they do the game show, that was, like, at the, the apex of the night, they would do the big game show, and everybody would go in the theater and watch it, and, like, you could participate in the games and stuff. But prior to that, like, he always came up with, like, a different theme.
Yep.
Like, every single week.
You were very creative.
So, yeah, it was all... So, every single time they did it was, like, a different theme. I remember doing... I'm trying to remember some of the themes they did. The one that I remember was, like Evil Disney. Because I was Scary Poppins for that. Yeah. But, like, and people did... They did it once a month, so people would do, like, really elaborate costumes. Because you had all month. They would announce the theme... like a couple weeks in advance.
Someone has tipped us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zach.
Chat. Thanks, Zach.
The other gay paradise here is Club Indie, which is a bathhouse. Okay. But it's super nice. They got a gym, pool, sauna, all used for exactly what you imagine. Okay, yeah. That's cool. I'm glad that the bathhouse subculture is still going strong. I feel like that was kind of like a 70s thing, but as far as I know, I was watching Dan Bell.
I can't understand how you whores can do that.
I was watching Dan Bell, like, his live stream last Saturday. If you don't know, like, Dan Bell does a live stream usually every Saturday, not always, but, and he drives around Baltimore and just, like, shoots the shit and whatever. And they're opening a bathhouse, like, a new because Dan Bell is gay, too. Yeah. And they're opening a bathhouse in Baltimore, too, like, and it's supposed to be, like, really nice. And I was like... For some reason, like, I knew they were still around, but I was like, I thought the big heyday of them was like the 70s.
The AIDS scare fucking destroyed.
That's what I mean. Shit. I thought that but I think maybe, I mean, it didn't really disappear though, did it? It just kind of like pushed it farther underground, I guess. And you just have to be like more careful. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't think it stopped anybody from doing anything. Doesn't seem like. You just had to be more careful. That's all. So, just like anything else, it's. But, shit just kind of... It doesn't go away. It just goes underground.
Zach, how easy is it to get laid in a place like that? You just go, I'm going to show up where all these fucking whorish men are, and I'm a whore, and we're going to all whore together, and fucking... How easy is it to actually hook up? Together. All these whore men. How easy is it to actually hook up? I've always wondered that.
What, are you curious? You're going to go down there and, like, check it out?
No. Because I'm trying to put myself in the shoes, that wouldn't be the same as going to a fucking straight singles club because you got to fight for it, you know what I'm talking about? And you got to compete against the other guys there, and you probably not going to get laid right there. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think. There is no straight equivalent to that. A nudist camp? Maybe not.
But not really, because nudist camps are not really...
Yeah.
I always had the perception, like, I don't know that much about, like, the nudist subculture, even though there is a nudist beach not far from here. You know that, right?
The closest equivalent will be that thing that fucking my ex and Tony invited us to. Lady and Tony invited us to.
Oh, right. It's called Secrets.
Yeah. Fucking my ex-girlfriend, who's also a friend of Jen's, and the guy that I hooked her up with once we broke up, Tony, who's another good friend of mine. They're friends of ours.
Yeah, they're married. They're married.
They're married. They've been married. A long time. I've showed them before. Tony and Aleta. They're a real nice couple. They're just friends of ours. And really, she's my ex, but it didn't mean anything to us. You know what I mean? Fucking, she's a goth girl, so we're just not jealous.
I love her.
She's awesome. They're friends. They invited us to go to this place called Secrets, which is a club. A couples club that's merged with a
swingers hotel.
Swingers hotel, basically.
Kinda.
Yeah.
They go there every Saturday night.
They go there every Saturday. You got to be a member. It's not open to the public.
Because that's how they skirt the laws.
Yeah. He's giving me all kinds of, because you need to come hang out with us. Come hang, old horn dogs. I'm like, oh, you want to swap? That's what he wants. He wants to swap. But he's showing me all kinds of pictures. Because they take pictures in there. Yeah. They got some fine girls in there, fucking couples and shit. Aleta and fucking another couple and this and that and fucking just getting it on. I can't show the pictures. I got them.
Well, obviously.
Can't show them. They got mirrors on the ceilings. It looks like a fucking it's sexual Disneyland.
Love hotel.
Like a love hotel.
Like the one from the Poconos?
Like the one from the Poconos.
Does it have heart-shaped tub? Because I might...
Do you want me to show it to you?
Well, you showed me some pictures from it, but I didn't get a good look at the room. You just kind of showed me like the pictures of the people. Which I was like, I've seen those people.
Let me see.
Hugo said, I worked on a porn space movie once. We rented 2 spacesuits for the porn stars and some props. It was fun.
That's it.
Oh my god, space porn.
Hold on, let me put it this way.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, we definitely can't show that picture.
No. That's the mirror in the ceiling.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Look at Leda's booty. That's just Leda had a fucking huge, but I could actually show that.
It's not huge.
She's not nude. I can show that.
It's not huge, gosh.
Oh no, when you see that shit in person, they're not nude, so I can show that.
Okay, well, I'm still gonna probably.
Yeah, that's the mirror in the ceiling, right there.
Sorry, I just thought it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
Show that one.
I thought of that Jam song, but that's mirror. That's mirror in the bathroom.
This is also not nude. I can show that one. That's not nude. That's some chick that they hung up. I can't really show that one because I don't have permission with her.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony and Aleta don't care.
Don't care. That's Aleta.
Well, it's just white.
Yeah, that's Aleta.
You can't really see it. You can't see it. You still can't see it.
That's me and Aleta. Back before I met Jim.
That was an old picture.
Old picture.
Look at fucking Tom on that.
I know. More Aleta. That's Aleta in Japan, actually.
And she is my age?
Yeah, she's your age. Yeah,
I think she's the same age as me.
Yeah, that's a good picture of her. Yeah. She's super sweet.
But again, you would never know.
Yeah.
Like looking at her.
No.
Yeah, Zach says turn the brightness down. You'd see better, yeah. Okay, well, that's the thing. We put a ring light back there, and so now it's like everything is...
Okay, hold on.
So when he throws stuff in the camera, it's like...
It's a good idea, though. Turn the brightness down.
Yeah. Okay, that's...
It's the ring light. That's Aleta.
Yeah. Although, that's not a usual look for her, but yeah.
Right. She was dressed up as something.
Yeah.
That's me and Aleta.
Yeah. Look at how debonair you look.
I know.
Look at that fucking eyebrow.
Yeah.
That one eyebrow like cocked all up like that. Yeah. So fucking smug.
Yeah. I was a fucking prick.
You were a prick.
Yeah.
You're still kind of a prick, but not as much of a prick as you used to be. You had a reputation for being a prick.
Yeah. My reputation was more of it exceeded the reality.
It did. You were never as big a prick as people thought you were.
Yeah.
Not saying you weren't a prick, because you were.
I was. They just assumed I was more of a prick than I actually was.
More of a prick than you actually were. Yeah. Hilarious. That was a hilarious time.
Yeah, it was.
This was, like I said, before, I knew you, but we weren't, like, going out at the time.
Dudes that were gunning for her were like, don't hang out with that dude. He's a whore. And all kinds of shit. And they didn't know. No.
Which is dumb.
I wasn't doing anything other people weren't doing.
You weren't. And
I was actually more fucking picky than those.
You were a lot more restrained than most of the people I knew. Like, so I thought it was ironic that people were just like, oh, he's such a whore. I'm like, oh, because he went out with one or two girls?
Three. Yeah, and they were all good ones. I wasn't slumming. I went with fucking good ones.
It wasn't like... I don't know.
They were just jealous.
It was just weird the way they talked about you. You were going around like fucking banging like a different chick every. It's like you weren't doing that.
No,
though.
And then the dude that did all that though, years later says, "Man, I'm sorry about that."
He did apologize.
He did apologize. He was just trying to get in your pants.
Well, yeah. I mean,
he's just trying to do what dudes do.
That dude used to text me all.
He was fucking obsessed, man.
Like 30 or 40 times a day.
Yeah. And
that's when I was like still married.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the process of divorcing my husband. We were still hanging out. Like, I don't want anybody's, like, because when I got divorced in, when the fuck was it? 2009, 2010, something like that. I think it was 2009. It wasn't like a big, huge traumatic whatever. I mean, we stayed kind of friends. I don't talk to him anymore, but we kind of stayed friends at the time. I think he was mad, but it didn't. It was fairly low drama as far as that goes.
Yeah.
But,
Desert for his chlamydia, space chlamydia.
Space chlamydia. Yeah, he was talking about like the porn movie where they had to rent 2 spacesuits. I'm like, well, okay, so were they regular spacesuits? And it's like, if they had to fuck in them, like, how did they get in and out of the spacesuits? Were they crotchless spacesuits? Did they make those?
No.
Just
vacuum
curious.
and fucking turn your shit inside out.
Ooh.
Oh, it's almost 9 o'clock.
We don't have to go till 9:30.
Okay, but
Let me have one more drink.
I'm gonna give you mine.
Well, that's only my first one though.
Because I have to. I gotta drive.
I know you do.
About?
Okay.
And I don't want to be like pissing my brains out the whole drive there.
High Desert 00004 says, I watched this docuseries on Netflix about this girl that disappeared in the Vatican. They think she was kidnapped for sex parties with the pedo priests. That sounds like probably what happened. Space chlamydia. Yeah, and the wildest parties probably happened in the Vatican. I kind of feel like, man, the more people like protest about shit and like talk about how, thank you, talk about how fucking sinful everything is and how degenerate people are and shit like that, I think those people are doing like way worse shit than we ever did. I mean, at least we're fucking open about it. And no one involved in anything that we're doing, we're not involving anybody that doesn't want to be involved. Everyone's very kind of like fine with it. Nobody is being forced into anything. Nobody's being drugged. Nobody's being, you know what I mean? So it's all just fine. So I kind of feel like, I don't know, and I always liked that better. That it's just kind of like everything's just kind of out in the open, you know what I mean? Zach is talking about the Bee Gees. Honestly, I'm really glad that you've discovered the Bee Gees. They're not like my favorite or anything, but I actually really do like the Bee Gees. I don't know if I would have said that like back in the 80s or back in the 70s or 80s, because I was like, oh god, because I was all into like new wave and post-punk, which I still am, but I'm just saying. And I was like, oh, disco. That's like what my dad likes or whatever. But the older I get, I'm like, you know what? The Bee Gees were actually like really good. And I did like that Sgt. Pepper movie. If you haven't seen it, Zach, you should probably watch that. It's bad, but I have like a real soft spot for it. Like I grew up watching it a lot because it used to be on like HBO and Cinemax and stuff when I was growing up. And the Bee Gees are in it. Peter Frampton is in it. It's super fun.
What you talking about?
That Sgt. Pepper movie.
Oh yeah. That's like a.
And I'm not saying it's not a good movie. It's not. It's terrible.
It's like a music video.
It's terrible.
It's one long music video.
It's also awesome.
Yeah.
It's also awesome.
Don't think about it too much. You just watch it.
It's just fun.
And you get loaded, you get drunk or whatever. It's just like one big long music video that kind of has a story arc to it.
But it's kind of batshit crazy.
Yeah. But you're the one that's watching it. You're the one that bought into this shit. You know what I mean? Fucking just accept it.
I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
And I'm not even like, I'm not saying it's a guilty pleasure.
No.
I'm not making excuses. I love that movie. It's a terrible movie, and I love it.
Sgt. Pepper's is just it's just entertainment.
Sure.
Good covers of Beatles songs.
Yeah.
By an all-star
and it's a
cast.
ridiculous story, and I'm there for it. I'm there for it.
Aerosmith.
Because I love the piles of drugs that they must have gone through to come up with a storyline that linked all of these bizarre ass acid trip songs together.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that somebody probably sat around thinking, how am I going to link all of these Beatles songs? Like, generally they were from Sgt. Pepper. Some of them were from Abbey Road and stuff as well. So it's like, how am I going to link Maxwell's Silver Hammer with, Golden Slumbers or whatever? Like, how am I going to mix all these together?
Get Back.
And it's like, yeah, and it's like they made this whole, and it makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. It does. But it's just,
it's kind of tacky, and
there's
looks,
robots.
Yeah.
There's like
sex robots.
Sex robots.
There's sex robots. Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of there's like mind control. There, I don't know. There's all kind of crazy shit going on. There's all kind of crazy shit.
Think of it as a music video album, and it is a Beatles tribute album.
Yeah.
By disco and fucking rock acts. It's got fucking Aerosmith. It's got Alice Cooper. It's got Steve Martin doing a fucking
he does Maxwell Silverhammer. Yeah.
It's got Bee Gees doing stuff. What other bands are jump in?
Let's see, Aerosmith is in there. Earth, Wind and Fire.
Earth, Wind and Fire. Yeah,
they do Get Back. Yeah, that's actually like a really good.
They
version.
do a good cover. So I would call it a Beatles tribute album movie.
Yeah,
it's good.
Where they try to make a plot.
The music's really good
out of a bunch of songs that don't have a plot and that don't really go together, but they made a valiant effort, and I respect that.
You are supposed to be tripping balls on LSD when you watch it, or weed.
I think that's true of a lot of movies.
That's what you're supposed to be. It's from that era, but it's still good. It's just like listening to an album. It's like listening to a tribute album that has a music video going with it, and it kind of has a story. Kind of reminds me of Phantom of the Paradise, but that's not a tribute. That there's no covers in that. It's just in the style of other music. It's also kind of up there with Xanadu. I liked Xanadu. A listener, I think, requested Xanadu, and I think sent it to me.
Yeah.
Don't I have that? I think I have. I think somebody sent me Xanadu to review it. And
Tom loves musicals.
Yeah, I like musicals.
Know. Not all of them. Not all of them are good.
I love Grease.
I also love Grease. I love Grease too.
It's okay. I like the television Grease that came out in the 2000s.
That was also pretty great.
Very good. That was a live television event, and it's got more songs in it and more of the story.
Well, it's more like the live show, so it's longer.
Yeah. I liked Phantom of the Paradise, like Repo, Genetic Opera.
We still haven't reviewed that.
No, we need to fucking review that. I like musicals, and I'm straight.
The world's only straight man that likes musicals.
Only straight man that likes musicals.
John Gora said, "Is Travolta in Xanadu?" No, he's not.
Olivia Newton-John carries the movie though.
Yeah, Olivia Newton-John's in it.
She's great.
John Travolta's not.
I didn't know it because I hadn't seen it since I was a kid. It's about some Greek demigoddesses called the Muses, and they were coming down and they were helping guys find their artistic way through life. And she plays a muse. It's a good movie. And she had been coming here for thousands of years helping guys. And in the story, there's two guys that she helped. One of them when he was young, now he's an old man, and then this young guy who's on there. And it's just a good little movie.
Plus, she roller skates a lot.
Yeah. And
that was very big at the time.
It's not so much a musical in the way other musicals are a musical, based on what I remember. It just kind of breaks out into song. Yeah, like I said, it's a musical.
I still love that Magic song.
Yeah.
Every time that comes on. Because sometimes I hear it in the grocery store, and I'm
Magic.
Like, man, the song, that's a good song.
Olivia was the shit, man.
Yeah.
She could sing, and she was good looking and very entertaining, and she could act. At least she can act in a musical.
Tyler, the guy, said, "I like Grease 2 more than the first, and I've gotten an endless amount of shit over that."
They're both good.
I'm not going to give you shit about it, though, because I honestly really like Grease 2. And like I said, I'm not guilty about that either. I know from an objective standpoint, it's not as good as the first one, but I still think it's good. Michelle Pfeiffer is cute as shit in that movie. Like, that whole scene with her and Maxwell Caulfield in the diner where they're talking about Hamlet, like, in the burger and everything. It's like that. I love that fucking scene because it just kind of seems so naturalistic, like the way they, like, interact with each other. And it's like that, to me, is like my favorite scene in that fucking movie. The songs aren't quite as good because they went like a little more 80s rock. But I still think Reproduction is a hilarious song. I still think that like some of like the big thing they did at the end where they do like the big talent show with the seasons and everything, like that's really good. I really like that song too, like with Michelle Pfeiffer in her little Christmas tree outfit and all that kind of shit. But yeah, I really do like that movie, so don't feel bad because I like that movie too, and I'm not ashamed of it either. Camp Guy says, "I like to have at least a modicum of human connection if I'm gonna have sex with a girl." Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I don't think that... Maybe it's easier for dudes in general to just, like, have sex with, like, random people that they don't really know. Is that true?
Yeah.
but I can't really do that. I have to at least like you. You know what I mean?
Sex is not the same. It depends person to person. There's sometimes you see a girl, she's just so hot, you want to have sex with her. Not knowing her makes her hotter than it would be if you knew her. You know what I'm talking about? If you knew her, you might not like her, so then the attraction would go away. So I understand both ways.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, she's hot, but she might be super annoying.
She might be super dumb, or she might be better if she just shuts the fuck up. You know? So it just depends. It depends. But the thing is that different things are acceptable at different stages of your life. The not knowing the chick, quick encounter, more of like a young guy thing. When I was young, that was pretty enticing. When you get older, you're more suspicious. So I'm not sure. It hasn't happened. So I'm not sure if the situation would be the same. I might be like, nah, fuck you. I might reject it. Like, I know you're going to try to charge me. You're going to bill me for this, aren't you? That's probably the fucking... But when you're 17, 18, 19, it's just fucking... You know she's not hooking. But now I'd be suspicious. What do you want out of this? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, too, that you have to think that if a very young woman that doesn't know you is approaching an obviously older dude who she doesn't know, then she probably has some ulterior motives.
Well, it's also the same if it's an older woman.
Same, exactly.
I would be like, nah, something's up.
I mean, generally, as a general rule, whether you're old or young or whatever, if a woman approaches you very aggressively,
something's up.
Then that's not. I mean,
normal.
And it's funny because like sometimes young guys will fall for that. Oh, she digs me. I'm like, no, she's
trying to get something out of you.
She's probably a hooker. Or she's trying to like get like normally, women will not approach a dude like that. Normally,
it depends on who you are.
It depends.
When I was in my teens and early 20s, because it was another young person. Then they would, because the game was different back then. What they were looking for was different. They weren't worried about money yet. They were still living at home. Everything was just living in the moment. It was what I mean. It was all just emotion and I mean everything was exciting. So they were more apt to like try to do a quick rendezvous. They didn't really didn't know you because it was all new to them, Then that would happen. But no, be honest. As soon as a guy gets in his 20s, you're instantly a loser because you have nothing to offer a woman in her 20s, not versus what a guy in his 30s can offer her. So being in your teens when you were a guy, for me, it was just fucking. It was easy. It was great in high school. And then you get out in the real world. And all of a sudden, you got to compete with guys in their 30s, and you can't. You're gonna lose. They got more money. They look better than you. Everything. They got cars, houses, whatever.
Well, they're more stable.
So
you're not gonna end up taking all their money or sleeping on her couch or whatever.
So all the girls your age, 20, 21, they're all going with guys in their 30s. You just can't compete with them, and that goes on a long time. That's part of the reason why I joined the Army. I wasn't getting any action. So running off to the Army for 4 years bought me time. Came out and kind of slayed it a little bit, half the time. But really, a guy doesn't come into his own until he hits about 30.
I kind of feel like that's true of a lot of people.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't really, and if you're younger than this, don't get discouraged because I didn't really feel like I got my shit together until I was at least 35.
Yeah.
At least, and maybe closer to 40, to be honest
40,
with you.
By the time I started getting my late 30s, early 40s, I was like, oh, I got this. And I felt like that. I got it. You know what I mean?
I still feel like, and shit, I'm 50. I'll be 51 in September. And I still feel like, man, I don't even feel like an adult. So I didn't even really feel like an adult until I was in my mid to late 30s. So I get it. I get that people are just kind of like, what is this adulting? Because I had the same thing. And I'm, and I'm older than maybe some of you. So it happens to everybody. You don't really, I don't know. I feel like I didn't get my shit. Well, shit. I feel like I've just recently gotten more shit together.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of, because we've been talking about this a lot because of the, all the Stream 8 and stuff like that we've been doing, and we've been talking a lot about that. And I just feel like it has taken me this long in my life to, get over a bunch of, baggage and stuff that I had, growing up. You know,
you haven't really talked to me about it yet, so I don't really. I know.
I mean, you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about. Like we've talked. Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because Camp Guy was saying, I grew up with very religious parents and probably have subconscious hang-ups about morality, sex, and stuff. Yeah, I kind of feel like I didn't grow up religious or anything like that, but I don't know. I feel like I kind of had a lot of weird hang-ups like that too. So just from, and I don't really know where they came from. It didn't come from my parents or anything, but I don't know. Maybe it's just my personality or something. But I do feel like I didn't really get my shit together about that until I was like in my late 30s, and maybe now opening up a little bit more about that, you know? It's just taken me a long time. So if you're younger than that, it's like, don't feel bad. Like, don't feel bad if you haven't got your shit together, because I don't have my shit together.
Yeah.
And I'm like 50. Nobody gets their shit together.
Yeah.
It's just the way the world works, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tyler, the guy, said, I was a nobody in my teens, and I'm now a nobody at 21. It's rough out there, man.
No, 21, dude, you haven't even begun.
Holy
Shut the
shit.
fuck up.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
You haven't even begun, man.
you could be my kid.
At 21...
Which is fucked up to
At
think
21, I was joining the Army. At 21. Because I went late compared to a lot of guys. So you don't even know what you're talking about.
Like I said, I didn't even get my shit sorted out until I was like 38 years old.
And if you're a dude in your 20s, fucking shit sucks. You just can't compete against the competition. You know, the only girls that are really interested in you are fucking in their teens, and you can't be seen with them. You know, you go to jail. Fucking well,
Yeah,
not really. I think in most states, I think age of consent is about 17 or 18 usually. But and at your age, you could get away with it. But those girls aren't going to fucking excite you too much because they don't have anything. You know, I remember it when I was 21. I wanted 21, 22, 20. 25, you know, real women.
Well, age appropriate.
Is that age? That's not really age appropriate because you can only go, because women like hypergamy. They want to move up. So a 20-year-old girl's really looking at a 30-year-old guy. She's not looking at a 20-year-old guy.
I'm talking
he doesn't
about
have anything.
I'm talking about age appropriate in the sense of like dudes not going after like someone way younger than
Not
them.
way younger,
That's
but a 21-year-old guy can go out with an 18-year-old girl, no problem.
Yeah,
That's age
that's
appropriate.
not weird. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I mean. Just like
they
within a
they're
couple
not
years.
they're not built up to a level to where they can just kind of stand with a fucking 21, 22, 23-year-old girl. Not in a club, at least. And I was so club oriented, you know. Although some could, but you couldn't take them drinking.
See, that's another thing. If you're real into, and especially like if you're into the goth scene and everything like that, it kind of behooves you to like date somebody that's at least 21.
Right.
Because there's a lot of, I mean, there's some that don't drink, okay? I'm not saying you have to drink, but it is a culture that's very based around clubs, and some clubs you can't go to unless you're 21. Yeah. So you have an 18-year-old boyfriend or girlfriend, you're gonna have a hard time.
Right.
You're gonna have a hard time. Because it's like, maybe you can take them some places, but they can't drink, and so it's going to be a whole thing. Tammy said, I have a 30-year-old daughter. Yeah, I mean, I could have a 30-year-old daughter.
Yeah. I hear some of this I listen to some of these videos. I guess they've been coined like the manosphere. Guys complaining about women, or talking about women who are complaining about men, you know, on fucking... They'll lift these.
We're the worst, aren't
they'll
we?
lift these videos off of TikTok where some girl's complaining about guys, and they'll pick it apart, see what she's talking about. And what's funny about these dudes, man, and these are mostly dudes in their 20s, I think, maybe 30s. They keep saying that a woman's value kind of disappears after 30. That once she hits 30, you know what I mean, she's not really the shit anymore. You know what I mean? And I'm like...
And this is like loser 21-year-old saying this?
Yeah.
And people care about their opinion. Why?
Well, I don't think that loser 21-year-olds, I think they're as old as in their 30s. But I'm like,
so loser 30-years,
yeah, I think so, yeah.
people care about their opinion. Why?
Let me finish what I'm fucking saying. I'm listening to these dudes and I'm like, these motherfuckers don't know anything about women.
Obviously.
Nothing, okay? Because really, they start getting good after 30. Women in their 20s are dingbats, man. They make some stupid decisions. I mean, guys make stupid decisions.
Everybody makes stupid decisions. That's kind of like what your teens and 20s are all about, making stupid decisions.
Right.
And hopefully learning from them.
And fucking some of the hottest ones, but they kind of have this weird fucking thing that after 30 they're not physically attractive. I don't know the fuck she's talking about. We know women that are approaching 40 that are just fucking drop dead gorgeous. I mean, fucking, shit. Laura Ross, she's pushing 40. You wouldn't know it by looking at her. And I've known her since she was fucking mid-20s maybe?
Yeah.
24, 25. What are these fucking dudes talking about?
They don't get out much.
They don't get out much.
Is, I think, what the problem is.
And then...
or they're low-key pedophiles.
Jen Draven's 50-something, right?
Well, she's a couple years younger than me.
So she's late 40s.
She's in her mid to late 40s.
Yeah, and she's
got 2 kids that are grown.
Yeah. And,
like, she's got 2 daughters that are grown.
And she knocks most women in their 20s out.
She's
just knock 'em out.
beautiful.
Long black hair. And she's just, you know... So, I don't know who these dudes are seeing. I mean, where do they live? I mean, yeah.
Who are they hanging out with?
Yeah, I can go down to the Oasis, you know, the old biker bar, and find a lot of 50-something-year-old women. They look like fucking hags because they look like hags at 25. They look like hags at 30. The way they were drinking and fucking
meth is a hell of a drug.
Meth is a hell of a fucking drug. Okay,
I mean, just saying.
So
this is Florida.
They're fucking they've been rolled 4 or 5 times in fucking chopper accidents and shit like that. One shoulder higher than the other because they've been all busted up. And they're biker women, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're 50, they're fucked up. Not all of them though. They had that one who was like 73. Who came in with her fucking 28-year-old tattoo artist boyfriend, and she was smoking hot. And she was 72. But she was a model. Okay? She had made her living as a model. So you can't tell. You know what I mean? You can't stereotype until you see the woman.
It's just very narrow-minded.
It's very narrow-minded. It's not just about age. There's a lot of Look at fucking fucking girl that played Elvira. Cassandra Peterson. She's 75, I think. 74. She's smoking hot. Same thing with fucking Linnea Quigley. Linnea Quigley. She's what? 60 something?
I think she's in her 60s. Yeah.
60, yeah. Still fucking great looking. They got some women out there that can hold their own for a long time. Jen's 50. And fucking, she beat a lot of women in their 30s. Yeah, easily. Yeah, she beats the average woman in her fucking 30s easily. Yeah. Because I'm thinking what average looks like. So, yeah, no problem. So, age isn't the fucking deciding factor on a woman's attractiveness. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, I've never really got too hung up on that.
No. There's a lot of different factors. They got cougars out there. You know. Which that's one of the angles Jen is going to be using on fucking StreamMate. Some of the shit.
Well, that's going to be one of the tags that I'm going to use. Yeah. We
got fucking fans here from this YouTube channel here that fucking we talked to offline. Fucking like Oscar. Oscar fucking loves Jen. Fucking that's his favorite fucking goth cougar. Okay. And how old is Oscar? Probably 30.
I think he was late 20s or early 30s.
Yeah. So just I understand it. I like older women too, if they're hot. They're out there.
That's the thing. I'm not real concerned about people's ages.
No,
I'm just kind of concerned like what they're
like, what they look like, and what
are they like?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It doesn't really matter how old they are. Well, and like I said, I've said this before too, because I think remember like somebody, because I always kind of like make jokes about fucking old people or whatever, but it's like I'm old too, so I'm not talking about old like as age. I'm talking about old as in like attitude. You know what I mean? Because I've known some like people in their 20s that seem like old people to me.
Yeah. Tyler's talking about he thinks that most of the guys in the manosphere are grifting. Yeah, I agree.
They are.
They're just trying to make videos.
Yeah.
And they're
looking for content, and they know that like there's a subset of dudes out there that will click on all that because they're like, yeah, man, I'm not getting laid. It's
fuck them bitches.
And it's all the bitches' fault.
Yeah.
It's not like they have to improve themselves because that's
not like
hard.
You need to go to the gym or learn how to fucking dress or fucking become an attractive guy. Oh, heaven forbid.
Well, see, well, that's what I mean. I kind of feel like, it's easier to just blame the women for not paying attention to you, Elliot Rodger, than just like being a cool person.
Yeah. Well, Roger looked okay. He was just fucking autistic or something. There was something mentally
Well,
wrong
no,
with
he was a psychopath.
Psychopath.
Was his problem.
Yeah, but he couldn't interact for some reason. There was more to it than that. It was a bunch of problems on that guy.
And I think everybody within a
Yeah.
5-mile radius, like as soon as they met him, were like, "Ooh, red flags all
Yeah.
around," because he
Yeah.
just came off like very, very fucking
Right.
weird. So,
If any of you guys in there listening to the Manosphere, here's my advice.
don't.
I've done well with women my whole life. Number one thing, don't focus on women. I never really focused on them. I never really chased them. What I was doing is I was always worried about my shit. Developing my character and developing my wardrobe and developing my skills. Not to get women. It was just what I liked to do. To join
Well, I
the
think
armies,
that's what a lot of
and
dudes
fucking
don't.
get
They're
into-
too goal oriented.
Right.
It's like you know what I mean. And
It's
women
not a
can
transaction.
women can
where you-
smell that
Yeah.
miles away.
Right. It's not a transaction because this is not a machine where, oh, if I do this, then I will get this from women.
Yeah, we're not vending machines.
Yeah, that will, they can sense that shit a fucking
Sure.
mile away.
It's creepy.
Yeah. That's not what it is. What it is become a person. Become a good person and have fun. And don't fucking stress out on that shit.
Yeah, don't worry
and
about
develop
it.
yourself and do your own thing. All right? And
Be interesting.
Yeah, right. Be a rock climber. Be a fucking skateboarder. Be a fucking motorcycle racer. Be
Anything.
be
A
anything
musician,
that
an
has-
artist,
yeah, yeah.
anything. Filmmaker.
It's more about branding.
Be interesting.
Women don't want to be with the average motherfucker. They want to be with a dude that has some kind of a brand or an identity to it. So, oh, he's one of these. And but the thing is that you can't do it artificially. Like, well, what should a woman have interests?
Yeah, don't.
Have
That's the thing. John Gorsley, he put it really well. He said being too interested in women is a turnoff for
Yeah,
women, ironically.
exactly.
It is.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it comes across as creepy and desperate.
Yeah.
And creepy and
You're-
desperate are two things you do not
You're
want
a
to
lot more attracted to women if you're hot and ignoring them. They fucking love that.
Like, not ignoring necessarily, but just, like, not...
Being aloof.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
being like, hey, I got my own shit going on, and
I
it's
don't
like,
really need
but
you.
like I said, yeah, they don't need you.
Yeah, you're
They're
not a needy guy. I don't
right.
need you.
The thing that I liked about you, I mean, when I first met you, one, you were a really good dresser. You, danced really good. Also, I liked that you had a lot of friends, and they were males and females, and you weren't like banging all the females. They were just like your genuine friends.
Yeah.
Like you had friends that were women.
Yeah.
That you had never slept with or
Yeah.
anything like that. They were just like you just liked them.
Yeah, friends with ugly women.
Like
and shit.
as people.
Yeah, it didn't matter if they were ugly or anything. If I liked them, I'd fucking, I'd be kissing on some girl and she's ugly. But it's not because I'm trying to. It's not just because I try to fuck her or anything. I like her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Hey, baby, because we all kiss on each other anyway at the club. We're all drunk.
Right. But see, that's
So
what I
we
liked
don't-
about it
hey,
is
hey,
that
no.
you actually had and you were
Yeah.
friends with all your exes, which is
Yeah.
always a good
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah.
Like they still like you,
Yeah.
which is always good.
Well, usually we broke up for things that didn't have anything to do with us. It was more of a situational.
That's
thing
what I'm
where,
saying.
Like with me and Aleta, we were both in a bad time coming out of other relationships at the time, so we were kind of hanging out with each other to fucking kind of make each other feel better. 'Cause we could go to the club together,
Right.
but we didn't really have that fucking romantic spark between us.
Right.
Which I think is part of the reason why Jen fucking liked her too, because I don't think Jen realized I wasn't gonna run off with her, and she wasn't gonna run off with me. Me and Aleta didn't really have that kind of relationship. It was in a weird way. It doesn't sound in a weird way. It was kind of like dating a cousin or a sister or some shit like that.
I like Aleta because
Yeah.
Aleta is awesome.
Yeah.
She is super sweet and
Yeah.
she is super nice, and I just really
I
like
didn't
her.
have that fucking romantic drive for her, though, and we just kind of called it quits. But then a week later, we're hanging out in the club together. It didn't matter.
Like I said, it's you see it sometimes because the goth scene in Florida is, I mean, it's large-ish, but it's small enough that everybody knows everybody, or at least knows somebody that knows that person. Like, it's one remove. And a lot of people have dated other people, or this person that dated this other person. And I will say that for everybody in the scene that's dated one another, because a lot of people have, there's relatively little drama. There is sometimes, and I know that, like, people outside of the goth scene are always like, oh, drama and everything like that. I don't think we have as much drama as like normal scenes have.
No.
There is drama. I'm not saying that there's not.
Because there isn't the same insecurities
but
in the people that would normally happen.
And honestly, a lot of people that break up will usually remain friends.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of friends in common.
Yeah. So
it's like you can't really, and there's not that many clubs to go to, so you have to go to the same place. So you have to kind of like learn to like adapt.
Camp guy's asking about Andrew Tate. Yeah, I've listened to Andrew Tate. I believe I agree with most of what he says. I in general like him, but you have to understand that Andrew Tate is coming from the position of a very young guy. He's young and brash. He doesn't. He can't see things exactly the way a guy in his 50s sees things. But for his age, he's what he's saying works for a younger guy. It doesn't work for an older guy. I'm not saying he's wrong. It's just that as you go through different stages in life, your reality changes a lot. And the way you deal with reality is different.
You gotta love the audacity of like some 20-odd-year-old dude like giving advice on anything. Which to me is like very funny.
He can, though. He's got millions of dollars.
Well, sure, but it's like that doesn't necessarily mean that he's any smarter or like knows anything better than anyone else.
Well, they were asking about women, and he's got a lot of women working for him who are like they're like streaming girls, and he talks a lot about relationships. He's a manosphere guy. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
he's mostly correct, especially from his age group and where he lives and the type of women that he's dealing with. In general, his advice is pretty sound if you're a young guy listening to him. The advice, if he were giving me the advice, a lot of times I don't need that advice because I've already been through that, okay? Or I could say, yeah, that's good general advice, but at my age, I could get around that problem. You're just looking at it a different way. You're not looking at it the right way. That kind of shit. You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Like I said, I think John Gora's put it really well because I think the problem is that younger guys, the reason that they come across the way they come across in a lot of at a lot of times is because they are, again, very goal oriented. They're just trying to, well, I'm just trying to get laid. Well, it's like, well, women are like, well, they, like I said, I'm not a vending machine. I don't really want you to like do all of these tricks on me. Yeah. It's like, and they're very transparent. Like it's really obvious to a woman. Like I don't know if dudes know how obvious they are when they're doing that kind of crap.
The guys he's talking about are not doing that though. The guys that he is talking about, like Tate, mostly what they're talking about is how to separate good, reliable women that are marriage material away from, say, like just your average hoe. That's basically what he's talking about. The thing is a lot of those guys, a lot of those guys have a fucking lack of trust for women, which there's something to be said for that. There are a lot of bad women out there.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of bad everybody.
A lot of bad men out there. But you can't stereotype a woman just based on certain things like body count. How many men have they been with?
Like I said, we're not the Borg. It's like everyone's different.
Sometimes a woman has been with a lot of guys, but maybe because she was monkey branching from one to the next, and they were all kind of losers, and she was trying to get out of the situations as much as she could, but she needed security. That doesn't necessarily mean she's going to fuck you over. You have to have a good relationship with that particular woman, a good understanding with her. Some dudes can't do that. Some dudes don't have the personality to actually get to know some chick. They're not built for it yet. They're too young. They're too inexperienced. They're too guarded. There's a lot of problems. And then another thing is that some dudes get too fucking love-struck too quickly.
Yeah, I've run into that.
So they're all of a sudden trying to get all fucking committee and commitment with some chick that really doesn't like you yet. All right, and that's a recipe for disaster.
Which is very funny to me because I kind of feel like, in the larger scheme of things, I kind of feel like dudes, in general, have a thing. It's like, oh, women, they just want to, like, fucking get committed too quickly and stuff like that. In my experience, it's the opposite. Yeah. It's the opposite.
This goes back to something I said about, or in the other show about, what was it, what do they call it? That syndrome? Fucking where,
what, Stockholm Syndrome?
Stockholm Syndrome. Okay.
When we were talking about Patty Hearst.
Yeah, Patty Hearst with Stockholm Syndrome. Evolutionary biology and evolutionary psychology and shit is involved in this. Men, even non-human men, in other words, male animals, are, because of testosterone and their biochemistry and shit, are driven to reproduce. It's like hunger. What was selected for survival is a guy who could attach quickly and mate quickly. All right. And he would be there to help raise the children in higher primates. Okay. And also in mammals. Okay. Not all mammals, but most of the mammals. What was selected in women was to actually bond slowly, because they have to choose which one of these
Well, we
males.
have a lot more invested in
Right.
this shit, and we have a lot more
Right.
to lose, obviously.
And they also were selected to detach quickly, because if the male got killed, they had to quickly switch to another male. They couldn't get hung up in that.
Gotta
male.
move on.
Gotta move on. So you see that in part of the fucking Stockholm Syndrome is that. Oh, well, I was with this guy. We had a kid. New males came and they killed him because he wasn't strong enough to defend himself and me. They killed the kid. He's gone. These other guys are pretty strong, though. And I need protection from other dudes like this. And this one here, he's okay. He didn't kill my husband. I can mate with him and not have any problem, and it won't happen again. So that's basically what Stockholm Syndrome is. And that's how animals work. That's how lions do shit. That's, primates can sometimes do that. So that's what this detaching quickly and then selecting a mate kind of slowly, that's a woman thing. And it's kind of what happened in nature, even with non-human ancestors. We're related to things that aren't human, of course. You can go back to Australopithecus, the Australopithecines, and Homo erectus, and fucking Neanderthal. If you're white, you have some Neanderthal in you. Very few. I think even some black people have some Neanderthal in them.
It depends on what part of the world you're from.
World,
but yeah, I think white people have more.
Right.
Like a higher percentage. It's still not a tiny percentage, but still.
But we bred in with each other. Our human ancestors
they
bred
interbred
in with each other.
They're like human, close enough.
Right. So we've inherited
that.
some of these things, some of these survival skills from non-human ancestors. So these dudes are all worried about this shit. Like, no, dude, you were selected to breed quickly because you're probably not going to live long, because in the wild you don't. All right, you'd be lucky to raise one child before you get killed, and then you're going to be replaced by another guy who was better than you. And that's what's happened. That's the
just
dating.
deal with it.
That's the dating world right there, isn't it? That's the dating world right there. Well, that's
like in a very simplistic way, sure. But like I said, it's funny because I do kind of feel like there is still kind of, it's, lessened in recent years, but I do kind of feel like there is still kind of a perception that women get more emotionally attached and stuff like that. In my experience, it has not been that way.
No, men get more attached.
I feel like men get more attached. They don't admit it.
Yeah.
But I found that after breakups and stuff like that, where I'm just like, bye, you know what I mean? And it's like I don't really care anymore. But it's like, dude, they just keep calling you and they keep it's that kind of shit.
They're trying because they got to.
Whereas you're like, please, please stop calling me. You know what I mean?
Go find another one.
I don't give a shit about you. Just please go away. But it's like they
left to their own, they won't detach.
Right.
And go look.
Right. I mean, that's, like I said, that's just been my experience.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
That it's like, I'm very much like, when I'm done, I'm done. I'm just like, I don't want to hear from you anymore. I don't want to see you anymore. I don't want to think about you anymore. I'm out of here. But they just keep wanting to re-engage.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very male behavior.
Right.
Especially if they didn't go through that at an early age and resolve that and understand that that's how the system works. You go, oh, okay, yeah. Can't do it. Can't get her back. I got to go find another one. But that's kind of against human instinct, especially when you're a teenager. But you have to do that when you're a teenager. Dudes that don't go through that when they're a teenager do that shit in their 20s and 30s. And it looks bad.
It does.
It looks real bad.
I wish that more dudes would experience rejection in their teenage years, so they learned to deal with it.
Well, they don't
in a healthy way, because you're gonna everyone experiences it, men, women, everyone.
You're not gonna experience rejection if you never make a move on a girl. And a lot of these guys now never, and even back in the day, would not make a move on them in high school, so they were just single through all the high school, so they never got any experience.
And if you didn't get experience with rejection, then when you got older, then it would get worse and worse, because then somebody rejected you, and then you'd fucking blow up because you'd never like fucking dealt with it before, and it would be a big thing.
If you went through success and failure, rejection and acceptance in your teen years, all of a sudden you're mentally moved into the realm of plenty, abundance. There's a lot of women. There isn't just one. There's a lot of them. So you don't have that, oh, I got to get her back. You don't have that in you anymore. You're like, she don't want me. I'll get another one. More fish in the sea. That looks a lot better. It makes you a lot more attractive.
It does.
Because women see that and they go, okay, yeah, he doesn't need these women. He's got his own shit going on.
Because I think women, it's weird because I feel like men have, like, and I'm just using, like, saying it in a general sense because I know, like, not everybody's the same. But I kind of feel like men they need to be needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women, not so much.
No.
I kind of feel like if women are needed too much, it gets weird and like they start feeling like suffocated.
Men need to be needed. It's part of their fucking programming that goes back to birds. Fucking male birds showing up with sticks trying to make the nest. You need me to help build this nest. Come on, that's what they're doing.
I brought some pretty bottle caps.
Here, look.
Hang them up on the wall.
Look, fucking silver tinsel. Look at that shit. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Bower birds.
Yeah.
Look that shit up. It's hilarious.
And women take that a weird way. They're like...
They do.
They don't realize...
I take it a weird way. It's weird.
Yeah, but it's not from the male point of view. The guys want to be useful. All right?
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
They want to... They want to help.
I mean,
if a woman doesn't need your help, it's not you don't like her. It's just that, she doesn't need me. I'm going to go where I need it. That's all it is. I mean, so they'll just.
But women, I think, and like I said, I'm not speaking for all women, but for me personally, and like other women I've known, that comes across as like very overbearing, because you're suggesting. Well, you're suggesting that it's like, you're suggesting that I can't do shit for myself, like I'm helpless.
That's how you're taking it. That's not.
Well, no, that's how women would take it.
Yeah, I think just you.
So it comes across as overbearing.
And women like you do that, but that's not what he means. What he means is he's trying to be useful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Because men are mostly about utility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's like, well, if I'm not useful to her, then she doesn't need me. So I'll go where I'm needed. And
so I'm going to piss off.
Yeah, I'm going to piss off. She can take care of herself. She doesn't need me. And that just means you can have a bunch of single lonely women around if dudes are like, fuck them. They don't need us. They don't want us. Because need and want is about the same thing to these men.
Right.
Okay. But need to a woman feels that idea is kind of insulting to them, because I guess they're pissed off at being stereotyped as being weak.
Yeah.
And needy. Men don't have that.
Yeah.
So need and want is the same thing in the mind.
But to us,
man.
It's not.
But to a woman, it isn't.
No,
so it's more like a miscommunication.
Things. It's two different things.
It's mostly a miscommunication. A guy doesn't see himself as being valuable in terms of beauty. He only sees himself as valuable in terms of his skills and what he can do.
I get that. In terms of utility.
Right, of his utility.
Right.
So he wants to be utilized. That's a good way to put it.
Right.
He wants somebody to put him to work and do a job. So, because for him, for a male, this is kind of like a bird building a nest. I'll help you the house. I'll help you make the house. I'll fix your car.
Right.
I'll fucking do this. I'll help you do this. That's what he's trying to do.
Right.
I'm a good man. I'll be there for you. That's what he's
right.
thinking.
And I get that. Right. It's hard for me because I'm kind of like, and I'm, like I said, again, not speaking for all women, but it's like, I do kind of feel like that comes across as a little bit like, I think you can't do things for yourself, because I'm like, I can do most things for myself, so I don't really...
Yeah, but some of this shit's real primal. Like, one of the main things is this guy says, I will protect you from men who are trying to attack you or rape you. I will help protect you.
Right.
That's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one of the things where, you have, like, especially in real rough areas or in bad parts of the world, smaller guys are at the bottom of the pack because they can't... But in the hood, too, because they can't provide any protection, physical protection to these women. Who's being selected there? Big old bruisers. Somebody who's terrifying enough to scare other dudes away. And that's the way it was in fucking, in primitive times. And actually, that's not that far. That's not that long ago. You know, you can go back a couple hundred years here in the United States, and those are the guys that would be selected. Guys that were fucking terrifying. You know, oh, he's a good man. They're scared of him. You know.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Like intellectually I get it, but like I said, you're coming at it from two different mindsets. And both of the mindsets are legitimate.
Yeah,
because
and you have to understand is that these dudes are not thinking. This is emotion.
Right.
They're not thinking it, they're not analyzing
they're
it.
not.
This is emotion and instinct. And it's kind of like the default setting. And the bad thing about it is that modern education does not teach men what they are. It is not teaching them what they are and what they were built to do, and to tell them about these internal programs that they're built with. That
might be useful to...
You gotta tell them, you're doing this because this is what your ancestry did.
I mean, tell them that, and also tell them, look, women are coming at it from this point of view, which is still legitimate, because like I said, we're not aliens.
They can't do that nowadays because half the damn country thinks that there's no difference between men and women. Oh, there's differences. Because humans are animals, and you just look at the animal kingdom. And a lot of it's just biology and hormones. If I were to inject a woman with a shit ton of testosterone, not only will you become masculine, you'll become a man. And you'll be thinking and acting just like dude, like me. All right? They're out there. Okay.
Heaven forbid.
Yeah.
I mean, you did
so a lot of it is
you
just
haven't injected
hormones.
Me with a lot of hormones, but you did mess my voice up.
That went back to normal.
It's still lower than it was though.
It's androgens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach says, by the way, didn't you guys need to go somewhere at 9:30?
Yeah, we gotta go.
Well, it's 9:35. We're all right. Yeah. Like I said, we don't have to be there right when they open. They open right at 10. But I mean, and I'm pretty much ready. I just have to pee and put shoes on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Shut it down, Tim.
All right. So, sorry, it's a little abrupt. Yeah. But yeah, we gotta go. We're gonna go out to Memento Mori this evening. And they open at 10, so we gotta get on the road. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this rambling discussion this evening. We'll be back on Sunday, and we're gonna be talking about Casino because Xanada sent us that, so we're gonna watch it tomorrow night. And and I've been wanting to do that movie because I really like that movie. So we're gonna be talking about that on Sunday. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. So have a good day tomorrow. Have a good rest of your evening tonight, and we will see you guys again on Sunday. Good night.